Good afternoon. I speak to you as President of the Australian Education Union, but also as a colleague. I started my career in 1974 when I was a teacher at Reece High School, and I finished it as principal of Bowen Road Primary School for 10 years. I am talking to you today because we have come to a fork in the road, and we're going to need to know from you which direction we should take. From the minute we saw the bill that entered Parliament a month or so ago, it had within it regulations which would have determined forevermore the level of your salary increases. It was not about freezing wages, it was about impacting upon the union and your conditions. We are now likely to see the education workforce unnecessarily depleted by 266 staff. We already know that the Guaranteeing Futures staff are gone, and we also know that the 28 members of the IT support that schools receive will also disappear. It means that 33% to 50% of the IT support that your schools received this year will not be present next year. We now know, therefore, that just under 200 staff will also be removed from the profession. It will mean several things to you and your school, and we need to know exactly what it will when your staffing quotas arrive at your school. What disturbs me greatly is the emails that I am now starting to receive. One from a very good friend of mine who I didn't know for the last 20 years, who sent this to me. And she simply said, "Terry, I can't believe this government." Another, who wrote more yesterday, wrote this: "I need to voice my great concern about the demoralising effect on staff that the current climate generated by the Tasmanian government is producing. It is time. Unfortunately, it is not time for great change driven by a hope and desire for a better and more just society. My belief is that it is time for action." He goes on to say, "I love my job. I feel proud and privileged to have worked with and been part of the lives of so many students over 15 years as a teacher. Any residue of goodwill that I felt towards the organisation that employs me, and therefore the Government of Tasmania, has now all but disappeared. I believe that at the very least we should impose a work-to-rule policy." It is why I said earlier that we have reached a fork in the road. Many of you have written to me and spoken of the arrogance and the disregard this government has towards its profession. We have gone as far as we can. I now ask this of you. When we have these meetings very shortly, we want you to attend. Secondly, if you are not a member of the union, join. And if you haven't made the switch, switch. For those who do not understand what unions do, you should look at the achievements that they have made over many, many years. I remember in 1974 when I started that my wife was earning several $1,000s less than I was, simply because she was female. I remember also at the end of that first year, she was forced to resign because she was about to give birth to our first son. These sorts of things are history now, all because of the union. Remember what public education stands for, and remember who supports it. It is only the union that can really back it and can speak on its behalf, because we believe in the principle of a fair go for all. Finally, you have been our strength to date, and we thank you for it. But remember, this episode has just begun, and it will continue. Stick with us, and remember, in unity. Thank you.